This person dies. We gotta keep him, flag a tea, and Dr. Lay. Gotta keep the rest of them.
Somebody sitting in our seat and down
All right, Paso, attach the arrow area right there anytime you want. I will see
I just saw you. I was over to bed with you.
Good morning. Will you please rise as we post the colors? Color guard, post. Post the colors. Order, arms. Please remain standing. I will now ask Corporal Marshall N. Braden, American Legion Post 56 chaplain, to do the opening prayer. As I switch hats. Gracious, sovereign God, Lord of all nations, on this Memorial Day, we pause to reflect upon our blessings as a nation and the high cost of those blessings. We offer our prayers of thanks and intercession. Thank you for the freedom we enjoy in this country, for opportunities to flourish, and for the security of our land. Thank you for those who have served in the armed forces of our country, risking their lives for our liberty. Thank you for those who gave their lives in service to our country, sacrifice in such a costly way for the sake of others, including me. Thank you for those who have given their lives so that those who live in other countries might experience freedom from tyranny. Thank you for a day set apart, not just for celebration, but also for solemn remembrance as we consider the sacrifice of so many in our military. We pray today for the families and friends of those who have given their lives in service to our nation. May they be comforted by their sadness. May they be reassured that the sacrifice of their loved ones contribute to a worthy cause. May they be proud of those they have lost, entrusting their ultimate fate unto your gracious hand. Even as we remember those who have given their lives in the past, we also thank of those whose lives are on the line today. Protect them, encourage them, bring them home safely and soon. All praise be to you, God of grace, God of mercy, God of justice, God of peace. Amen. Amen. John? John Nagy will lead us in the national anthem.
Present home. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in singing our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our
allegiance to the colors of our country. Present, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Welcome to our annual Memorial Day celebration. Today's service is hosted by two of our largest veterans organizations. I wish to welcome Commander Joseph Skoda, Commander Corporal Marshall N. Braden, Post 56, for a few comments.
I want to be the second to welcome all of you to this reception, this solemn ceremony that we're going to have today in Santa Maria. All-American city, Santa Maria. It's very important that we pay tribute today. Probably, perhaps one of the most important days in our independence. We're all here to pay tribute to those that passed away, and many give their ultimate sacrifice, their lives for all of our freedoms. We have the freedom to be here today. We have the freedom to enjoy a barbecue later, if we must. We have a freedom to attend a sports game and march in the parade anytime that we wish. And it's thanks to those that have fallen before us, and thanks to all the other veterans here today. I want to salute each and every one of you. Remember, our fight is not finished. We're here to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It's really important that we uphold the values of our United States Constitution. I want to salute you all. Thank you.
Resolution 288, adopted by the 67th American Legion National Convention, calls for designating a POW MIA empty chair at all official meetings of the American Legion as a physical symbol of the thousands of Americans, POWs, MIAs still accounted for from all wars and conflicts involving the United States. Commander will place the POW flag. First, I'd like to recognize our singer of our national anthem, John Nagy. He's a World War II veteran, and I don't think he's reached 95 yet. 94. John. Our other host for today is Commander Robert Booman from the VFW, McKinley Brothers Post. Welcome.
Again, welcome all of you for coming to this most solemn occasion. Many here have lost friends and family in combat throughout the wars. And I know that there is a family here. One of our most recent losses, Marine Gunnery Sergeant Joseph Manusa, and I'd like to welcome his family here especially. So, thank you all for coming. I salute you all.
Again, I want to thank all of you, veterans, family of veterans, members of the Santa Maria community, to our service. As mentioned in the program, we have two distinguished guests of honor. And I'll just introduce them now and then talk about them a little later. We have Colonel Mark Del Rosario from the 30th Space Wing Operations Group. Colonel? Also, our other speaker, accompanied by his mother, who's been a speaker of a few times here in the cemetery. He was 3 years old when his father died, serving our country. Joshua Manusa. And his mother, Stacy Manusa. At this time, I would like the Gold Star mother or Gold Star family of any family member that lost someone in the service of their country. Please stand and be recognized. If you are here, or wave. Also, we want to recognize those veterans that have served our country. Every day, we lose thousands of veterans, and quite a few number of those are World War II veterans. So I like those World War II veterans to stand up and be recognized. The next war that the United States faced was the Korean War. And some of those World War II veterans stood around to do battle in that. And some of the Korean War veterans later on went to other wars. So if you're a Korean War veteran, please stand up and be recognized. War was my war, Vietnam. And as I say, it's very personal to myself, and I want to welcome home my brothers, and I would like to all stand up and be recognized. Vietnam veterans. The next group is I put them in a group because we continue to, even though we've brought the troops home, we're still involved in it. That are veterans of the Iraq, the Afghanistan, and our war of terror. Please stand up and be recognized. Those that are on active duty, they can stand up again. So those that are serving our country right now, I like you and your families to stand up and be recognized. Today, across our nation, we are celebrating Memorial Day. And in Arlington this morning, I watched on TV as they do the traditional laying of wreaths to show veterans and their families that we care. So I've established this in Santa Maria, that we have our local organizations, units, wish to recognize our veterans by presenting wreaths at our memorial. First up, the McGinley brothers VFW Post 2521. We have Bob Booman representing the Post, Charlie Avila representing the Ladies Auxiliary, and Ray Morrell, who is going to present the Men's Auxiliary Reef. Representing Disabled American Veterans, Chapter 82, Commander Joe Skoda. Next, we have the Captain Henry Sweetser, Daughters of the American Revolution, Vice Regent Janice Swayze, USS Constitution Chapter, United States Daughters of 1812, Elizabeth Swaney O'Neill, and the Stephen Easton Society Children of the American Revolution, President Delaney O'Neill. Loyal Order of the Moose, 719, Governor Robert Urselio. Women of the Moose, Chapter 463, Pasadena Regent Lucy Ellsbury. Eagles Lodge, 1745, and Women of the Eagles Lodge, Eric and Ruthie Smith, and family. Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks, Lodge 1538, Steve McGahee. And we have the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 982, Lewis Gout, presenting the wreath. Marine Corps League, Central Valley Detachment, 1340, George A. Moran, Commandant. Place the wreaths as a reminder and a thanks from our various organizations. Also, I want to make note that this morning at 6 o'clock, a number of veterans, family of veterans and friends came out to the cemetery and placed these casket flags. These flags that are around this memorial are flags that once draped a veteran. They represent veterans that serve their country, and we, as a community, continue to honor them by flying their flags from this one day. And this afternoon, we'll take them down, we'll fold them, triangle, and return them to their loved ones. Also, if you look around the cemetery, there's hundreds of small American flags that were placed here on Saturday. And I want to recognize those individuals, organizations that assisted us in putting these flags as a reminder to everyone that here throughout the cemetery there lies hundreds, if not thousands, of veterans that deserve our recognition on this day. We had the Santa Maria Future Farmers of America. We had the Boy Scouts of America. We had Veterans and Family. We had the DAR and the CAR come out. And we also had some active duty members come out with their family to show their respect for the community. So I wanted to have you all please recognize them with an applause. Also, at this time, I want to make note someone that was dear to me, and every Memorial Day and every Veterans Day, I recognize this friend, this mentor, because he inspired me in my work, working with veterans, doing activities and that. And over here, we have an empty chair, and it says, in memory of Bobby Rivers. Bobby was a former POW from World War II, grew up in Santa Maria, came back in Santa Maria, and helped a lot of veterans organizations and also community activities. One of the areas that Bobby helped out, and we're very proud of in Santa Maria, is the Freedom Plaza, where there's Freedom Memorials. And it's over there on McClellan, right next to the Maldonado Youth Center, right across from the DMV. So I encourage you today, or any day, is go by this Freedom Memorial. It was sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce, and every Pearl Harbor Day, we honor the veterans there. But on the walls of that memorial are the individuals, and I believe there are either 98 or 99 names of individuals that gave the ultimate sacrifice to our country from World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and again, I believe there's 9 from this latest conflicts. So as you're out today, I encourage you to go by and see the names of those that gave the ultimate sacrifice. Our first guest represents our active duty military, serving our great country throughout the world as we stand here in Santa Maria. Colonel Mark Del Rosario became the 30th Operations Group Commander in June of 2013. He previously was the Chief Assessment and Analysis Cooperative Threat Reduction Department, Defense Threat Reduction Agency in Fort Belvoir, Virginia. His past assignments included Air Staff, Headquarters, Space Command, 14th Air Force, and he served as an executive officer for the Commander, 14th Air Force, and Commander Joint Functional Component Command for Space. Colonel Rosario received his commission in 1991, was a distinguished graduate of the Reserve Officer Training Program, has a broad background of operational experience with assignments in satellite operation, intercontinental ballistic missile operation, space superiority, space launch, and range operations. Just to note a few of his awards included the Meritorious Service Medal with 6 oak leaf clusters, Air Force Commendation Medal with 1 oak leaf cluster, Air Force Achievement Medal, the Joint Meritorious Unit Award, an Outstanding Unit Award with 7 Oak Leaf Clusters, and the Air Force Organizational Excellence Award with Oak Leaf Cluster. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor, Colonel Mark Del Rosario.
Well, good morning, everybody. If I stick to the script, please forgive me, because if I go off script, I think I'll get very emotional. Driving up today, preparing my remarks, flood of emotion just came over me. Seeing the flags, hearing the symbolism, as well as the stories about the flags that are around here, seeing the hundreds of flags that are on the gravestones, and doing my own research of this cemetery was just filled my heart with so much pride. Just want to let you know that I represent approximately 5,000 members of Vandenberg Air Force Base military, our contractor warriors, and our government civilians. And a lot of them live here in Santa Maria. Today we share and pause. We make sure that we share those times and stories and memories of America's military heroes. We're going to talk to each other. We're going to share those stories with each other after today. It might be at a barbecue, or it might be at a party, or it might just be as you're walking to your car. Those fallen soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen, and all who have carried the shield in America's wars, that have paid the ultimate sacrifice, they did it in defense of our nation. Several of Santa Maria's members, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters are buried here, and I'm aware of 3 Marines and also 1 soldier that was recently buried here, and that came back in 2013. Well, throughout our nation's history, the members of our armed forces have given so much of themselves to defend our country and protect their family and loved ones. Nearly 1 million men and women in uniform have given their lives to sustain the unique freedoms of our great nation. None of these freedoms would be possible without their dedication, their sacrifice of those brave warriors. Memorial Day has become a traditional start of summer for many in our nation. It has become a day of picnics, barbecues, parades, swimming pool openings. It's also become a day where we celebrate the triumphs of those we honor. But more than anything, we have warriors here that are buried, that are resting in peace, resting in pride, knowing that you're here today, honoring them, knowing that there are many people across this nation that are doing the same thing you're doing, taking time out of your day to remember and honor them. Those freedoms those people are going to enjoy today, their family, friends, and loved ones. They're going to enjoy those events, but they need to remember that the precious few who gave and swore in their life to defend their nation are not here today to celebrate with them. Probably nowhere on the Central Coast are America's military personnel more recognized here than more than Santa Maria. There are a number of monuments and facilities that exist to show our appreciation to those who serve, and in Santa Maria alone, there are a couple that I've visited. There's the Veterans Memorial Center. I've had the honor of speaking at that location. It's a registered historical landmark spanning over 80 years. There's the Freedom Monument that was mentioned before. That was dedicated in 2001. And it's to remember those Santa Maria Valley veterans who have given their lives during times of war. This past December, we added 2 more names to the wall. So that means there's 100 members of Santa Maria that claimed Santa Maria as their hometown. And we also rededicated a plaque to Kenny Alvarez. There's also one more that I would like you to know about, and that's the Santa Maria Military Wall of Honor, and it's tribute to our past military personnel at the airport. We who wear the uniform of the armed forces do so by choice. And I am honored and humbled to serve with thousands of men and women who do great things every day throughout the world. They build schools. They deliver humanitarian aid. They respond to disasters across the nation and also the globe. They protect our nation's interests and our citizens abroad. And when necessary, we're ready to take up arms in her defense. These men and women have one thing in common, just like all the other members before them that have served. They have raised their right hand and sworn to protect the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. They, we do so freely and with honor. Some will give their lives in faraway places. Today I would like to mention two heroes who died in service to our nation. Almost 10 years ago, on May 30th, 2005, an Air Force captain, Derek Argel, was killed in a crash of an Iraqi Air Force aircraft during a military training mission. This was in eastern Diyala province in Iraq. Captain Argel was a native of Lompoc. He was named the most valuable player of Lompoc's high school's water polo team in 1995, and then played water polo at the U.S. Air Force Academy. Received his commission in 2000. Today we remember him as a father, a husband, and a son, and a hero. 6 years ago today, May 25th, 2009, Navy Commander Dwayne Wolf died in an IED attack in Anbar Province, Iraq. He enlisted in the Navy as a Seabee and rose to the rank of commander in the Navy Reserve. As a civilian, he was the deputy commander of the 30th Mission Support Group at Vandenberg Air Force Base. He was leader on our base and was a leader among his troops. He was a husband and a father of three, and he too was a hero. There are too many stories of American heroes who have paid the price so we can celebrate days like today. It is their memory we honor today. To their families, we offer our unending gratitude, for their loved ones are our true heroes. So in closing, it is with immeasurable debt of gratitude for our fallen warriors' service to our country that we come together today on Memorial Day. We thank them for the sacrifices that they and their families have made to defend and maintain our nation's principles. It is because of their courage and selfless action that the United States continues to be the brightest light of freedom around the world. On this Memorial Day, let us remember the members of the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard who gave their lives throughout our nation's history in the name of freedom. My personal message to everyone here that has lost a loved one: I wish you and loved ones a safe and meaningful Memorial Day. Thank you.
On behalf of American Legion Post 56 and VFW Post 2521, Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is awarded to Colonel Mark Del Rosario, 30th Operations Group, Vandenberg Air Force Base, California, guest speaker, Memorial Day 2015. In recognition of your outstanding dedication, service to our community, state, and the United States of America, remembering our brave ones on Memorial Day. Today's ceremony is being held here at the cemetery because this property represents a tribute to those that have served our country. Among the graves are those of many wars our countries have been involved in, from the Civil War at the north end to the war on Afghanistan To me, Memorial Day is a very special program. This program is my opportunity to present and recognize families of those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice, their lives for their country. Today, we honor Marine Gunnery Sergeant Joseph Menusa. He died March 27th, 2003. And if you look at your program, there's a little synopsis. He was assigned to the 1st Combat Engineering Battalion, 1st Marine Division, Camp Pendleton. Died in an ambush. Graduated from high school in '89. Joined the Marines and became a Marine recruiter. He was a 14-year veteran who loved the Marines. Joseph was killed on the 9th anniversary of the day he began dating his wife, Stacy. He was posthumously awarded U.S. citizenship. He leaves behind his wife, Stacy, and at that time, a young boy, his son of 3 years old, Joshua. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the son of Gunnery Sergeant Joseph Menusa, Joshua Menusa.
'Joshua wanted me to come up here with him so he wasn't so stressed out and had Mom to hold his hand. But as Mike said earlier, I've spoken a few times in the past, and I felt it was time for Joshua's voice to be heard because he's never done this before. This will be his first time speaking on behalf of his dad and family life and what life has been like for the last 12 years. So with that, I will pass the mic over to Joshua and let you hear his words.
12 years and 2 months. That's how much time has passed since I lost my father to the war on terror in the fight in Iraq. 12 years with only one hard-working parent. I love my mother dearly, but I've had a very different perspective growing up without a dad. I see my friends with their parents, and they have something I've had to go without. I guess in a way, I feel disappointed. But when I think of my dad, I know he wouldn't change a thing. He was always looking out for everyone else before himself. The only true difference I see in our fathers is that mine endured the ultimate sacrifice for the sake of others. He took it upon himself to be a leader to his Marines, and in doing so, sacrificed his life to save them. He sent the message of his shielding love through what he did on the battlefield, and we received it. Recently, my mother read me an article by Matthew Stannard of the San Francisco Chronicle. It was a story about the death of my dad. A few lines of the passage brought me some memories, a few that I can't believe I still remember. I don't remember seeing him for the last time at the mortuary before we went to the church, but there is one memory that is still etched into my head. It's hard to think that at 3 years old, I can remember watching my father's casket being wheeled out of the church, to remember the first tears shed when I realized my dad was not coming home and I didn't get a proper goodbye. It's been tough. The older I get, the more the loss of him seems to affect me. I also remember riding in the car with my mom. Whenever I would see a flag in front of a building, I would exclaim to my mom, "Look, there's a flag for Daddy." That went on for quite a while after my father's death. To me, it was a huge symbol for my dad in remembering seeing his casket draped with the colors. Just a few weeks ago, I had a dream. I could just feel the presence of my dad as I progressed into my own world in my head. And if it would help you, I'd like you to close your eyes as I read the following. As I recall it, it wasn't easy to see. It was dusty, sand in every direction. I felt the sun beating down on me as I trudged forward in this barren wasteland. After a while of walking, I began to see the forming of a silhouette in the distance. There were 3 shapes that I could tell. A large box, a smaller one, and a pillar. As I came closer to it, I realized that it was a building with a tower next to it. I focused my eyes on the large building, where I began to take note of gleaming light. Before I knew it, the light faded into pitch blackness, and around me darkness followed. I fell into an abyss of nothingness and awoke. I couldn't tell you how confused I was after this. I couldn't find an explanation. That was until I was reminded of a picture of my father in a dusty, barren wasteland. It was the last photo taken of him before his unfortunate demise. I continue to have countless dreams like this, and my mother can say the same. It's a strange feeling knowing that the invisible guardian angel by your side is the one person you barely knew. A statement that I can agree on is that the first thing you forget about a person is their voice. But even today, I can close my eyes and hear the voice of my dad. I can't say that I ever recall hearing his voice in my lifetime, but it's there. I'd like to share with you a story that I had written a few months ago from the perspective of someone else referring to me. A little boy ran in the grass as the sun beat down upon the trees above. The surrounding area was quiet and still. The easy feeling of a soft breeze passed through the branches as one snapped from the trunk. It fell to the ground quietly, but made a sound loud enough for the boy to hear. He ran over to the branch and picked it up with both hands, swinging it like a rattle. He decided to play fetch with himself and threw the stick a few feet out, again and again. The stick fell once more after being thrown in front of a slab of marble. The boy walked up to the stick and picked it up. He scanned the words on the piece of rock before him and smiled. Though they were quite readable, the boy did not understand much. He let out a small giggle and turned away. While getting further away from the stone, he looked back smiling to say goodbye one last time to the grave of his father. I had written this story about my dad a few months ago. The irony is that this actual story was written about me in the same San Francisco Chronicle by Matthew Stannard back in 2004, and I had no idea until just a few days ago when my mom read me the story. Here's an excerpt. Joshua Menusa ran giggling across the graveyard grass, gawking at a balloon, tugging at the string connecting it to a headstone not far from that of his father, Marine Gunnery Sergeant Joseph Menusa. He paused at his father's grave, scanning the words and dates chiseled into the marble. Iraq, KIA, February 13, 1970, through March 27, 2003. Purple Heart, loving husband and daddy. Then the green grass and sunshine beckoned again, and little boy ran laughing, leaving his father's grave behind. While my memories of my dad are very few, most of what I know about him I learned from the stories my mom, grandparents, and friends of my dad have shared with me over the years. My mom always tells me how I'm just like my dad in my mannerisms, things I say, and things I do. My dad may be gone from this earth, but I know he's still very much alive in me. Thank you.
I would like to say, like father, like son, or like son, like father. You see what an outstanding young man. And we'll have to give a lot of credit to the little lady in the back here for supporting. Because last year I had Joseph Heredia's sister talk, and this year I had Joshua. Because this is what Memorial Day is about. It's remembering those that are personally involved with our nation and with life. On behalf of the American Legion and the VFW, as a remembrance of today, certificate appreciation, Gold Star son, Joshua Menusa, of Gunnery Sergeant Joseph Menusa, in recognition of your loss and your father's supreme sacrifice to our country and the United States of America. courage, service, sacrifice to reflect on today. Let us use this opportunity now and on Memorial Day and Veteran Day and maybe every day in the years to come to celebrate service to our nation, to demonstrate the appreciation we have for our military, and to inspire future generations to dedicate themselves in the name of the many that come before them. Today we give thanks to live in a country where citizens from every generation willingly and courageously raise their hands to stand the watch. For all those veterans here today, thank you for your service and sacrifice. I share the pride you feel in being able to count yourselves among the 1%, the greatest military in the world. For those not in the military, thank you for choosing to share this special day with us and show your support of our heroes past and present. I thank you. I want to thank the Santa Maria Valley Veterans Honor Guard, the Ladies Auxiliary, Men's Auxiliary, Archbishop J.J. Cantwell Assembly, our color guards, for supporting our special day. After the event, we'll have a reception at the VFW Hall on Battles, and there will be a potluck over at the Veterans Memorial Building at Post 56. Benediction. Normally, a lot of benedictions, you hear a prayer. But to me, the best prayer that we can do as Americans is to sing God Bless America as our final prayer. And John, will you come up and lead us in God Bless America? Please rise.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you care to, please join with me in singing God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, right with both. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Got it? No, that's okay.
As we head into the conclusion of our service today, it has become a tradition since I've been Master of Ceremonies of this service for the last 13 years to close with a service to our veterans that did not get a veteran service at their funeral. As I say, I'm commander of the Santa Maria Valley Veterans Honor Guard, and we do veteran services for any veteran, either at the cemetery, the mortuary, or even at homes, and no charge. And again, part of it is allowing us the honor to do that service. Last year, we did about 120 funerals, and over the years, I've been involved in over 1,000. But out of that 1,000, there's probably 3,000 or 4,000 that died that did not get a veteran service. So our final salute, and then we'll be firing the 3 volleys and then playing the taps to remember those veterans. And today, someone dropped me off a note. It's about her brother, Vietnam veteran John de Swangchamps. We'll remember him with our group of veterans. We, the Santa Maria Valley Veterans Honor Guard, the veterans of foreign wars, the American Legion, disabled veterans, veterans and families are assembled here to pay a lasting tribute to our departed comrades. When the call of our country was heard, our comrades answered. Self was forgotten, the cause of a greater good. As a brave man or woman, they marched away with abiding faith in their God, their country, their flag. The red of their country's flag was made redder still by their heroism. The white more stainlessly pure by the motives which impelled them. In the starry field of our nation's glorious banner, the blue has been glorified by the service they have given for American ideals. One by one, as the years roll on, we are called upon to fulfill these sad duties of respect to departed comrades. The present, full of cares beset all nation, fades away as we look back in a day. These comrades left their home to defend their country, imbued by a spirit of devotion, inspired by undying love of their native land. They gladly went forth and joined with comrades, both young and old, to preserve our heritage of freedom. We trust the example set by our comrades will prove a glorious beacon to the youth of our country, who may be called upon upon the honor of our flag. As the years roll on, we too shall finish our fight, shall be laid to rest, and our souls follow the long columns to the realms above, as all enfolding death, hour by hour, shall mark his recruits. Comrades, let us so live that when the keeper of eternal record shall call our names for the last time, those we leave behind may say of us, as we now say of our comrades, here lies all that is mortal of a true-hearted comrade and a fearless defender of their country and their flag. At this time, I'll ask everyone please rise. If you are a veteran, you may render a hand salute, and all others, please show respect for our flag. Firing party, prepare to fire 3 volleys. Present, come. Please remain standing as we retire the colors. Bell guard, right leg. Forward. Up. Column left. Up. Present. Come. wanted to say the gentleman, our veteran carrying the American flag, is 90 years old, Tom Knott. And when Tom comes out to my honor guard, he always carries the American flag until he can carry it no longer. He's a World War II veteran. And again, thank you very much. And as I say, receptions at the VFW Hall and American Legion. Thank you.
Show you Mr. Gunshots.
Yeah, I will.
No, I didn't.